Alrighty, here we go. We're gonna talk about The Conjuring Last Rites, Part 4. I like the Conjuring films. Well, let me correct that statement. I like the first two Conjuring films, the ones that James Wan directed. The third one I absolutely despised. I used to have the book behind me, that the case that is based off, called the book is called The Devil in Connecticut. It's somewhere, either here or on my bookshelf. And it was great, that book. And I thought they could, in the first half of the movie of that, actually not the first half, the first act of The Conjuring, was it The Devil Made Me Do It, was great. And then it was just so boring. And this movie is not boring. I will say this is pretty interesting, but it feels like for this movie, you have to know the whole Conjuring universe, because it doesn't feel like it's a like the first. I've seen the first three movies. This one has characters from the Annabelle, from what's that, the one, La Llorona. That one is not even an actual part of the Conjuring universe films, but there's an actor that's in it that's playing the same character, so it kind of is in the universe, oddly enough. But yeah, so I was a little bit like, what's going on? Because I know the daughter, they never wanted her in the room in the first two movies. So she's in the movie. So the movie's really, it's about this family that they get an item, like this grandparents bought this daughter for her communion, this mirror. And then this mirror is, something's attached to this mirror. And once they get this mirror, things start happening in the house. It starts being drawn to one of the girls. But this mirror also has history with the Warrens, because when the movie opens up, we see the Warrens very young in 1964 are talking to some woman that owns an antique shop, and she's saying like all these things start happening once she got this mirror. And then Lorraine went to go look at the mirror, and as she touched the mirror cracked. And all of a sudden she felt something in her stomach. The baby, she was giving birth, she was in labor. The baby was born at stillbirth, but then a minute later she was revived and she survived. And they're saying that this demon that's attached to this mirror is kind of attached to the Warrens and has been behind the scenes for a long time now, and uses things like Annabelle and things like that to target the girl. So the girl is one of these Annabelle films, which I've never watched because I know the real Annabelle, and I never liked the stupid doll that everyone loves from the first Conjuring films. I guess it's creepy. James Wan knows how to do creepy. It does look like the same stupid wooden thing he has in Dead Silence, right? That's the movie that James Wan also did. So I didn't like the way Annabelle looked. I knew the real story. I followed the Ed and Lorraine Warren. I'm one of the only people who used to be in the paranormal world that would say that I don't believe all their cases. Obviously, Amityville Horror was a big smear of crap on their faces, especially hers. So I don't know. I'm mixed with them. I do give them all the credit in the world for bringing a lot of this cases and true hauntings to light. And there's a lot of cases they could have done. But anyway, years later, 1986, I believe. So the last movie, Last Rites, I think was 83, and we're in 1986 now, 3 years later. And the girl's having her communion. The grandparents give her this mirror because she's always fighting for the bathroom with her sister. The fun parts are like when it's like the original Conjuring film, when it's about the family and the hauntings that's happening in the house. That's the interesting fun parts. And then the Warrens coming in. Okay, that's not terrible, but it gets bad later on when, okay, something attacks them. The ceiling collapses right after she opens the mirror. Things start happening in the house, and her sister don't like the mirror. So, and her sister and her don't get along, but they both decide to get along to get rid of this mirror. So they throw it out in the garbage. Once they throw it out in the sidewalk, and the sanitation comes and takes it and throws it in the truck and starts smashing it and destroying it, all of a sudden the sister starts coughing in the breakfast table, and she starts spewing out blood all over the place, and glass starts coming out of her. And they're like, oh my God, did you chew glass? And then they took her to the hospital, and then all these things start happening. And these people are haunted for about a year almost. And the Warrens don't go out because they can't, because Ed has heart problems from the last film. So he can't go anywhere, and he didn't want to risk anything. At the same time, the daughter is getting, like, something's calling her, and she starts hearing things. She kind of looks like Zoe Deschanel. And Lorraine sees like a hand on the daughter's arm at dinner, and then the hand goes away, and Lorraine screams, and then things are happening, and Lorraine's being told by the paranormal world that something's basically coming after your daughter, but she's not really saying much to Ed about this. We discover that this girl, I guess is important in other films, has a boyfriend that he wants to propose to her, and he has the permission from the parents to propose to her. He looks like Ben Foster, who's a good actor. I liked him, surprisingly. I liked him. I liked the daughter, and it felt like they were trying to set this up for that, to give these two the ball to carry on the franchise, since this is the last investigation they ever did, even though there's so many other investigations they haven't even included in any of the world. But I guess they could, if they want to, switch things up, instead of having Ed and Lorraine, they could have the daughter Judy and her husband taking on the mantle and doing the cases that were supposedly prior, but just say they're later on. They could do that, I believe. But this basically was a send-off. But here's the thing. The daughter gets drawn. There was cool parts. It's interesting all the way through. There's nothing wrong with the movie. It's not boring, really. It was interesting all the way until like she's a scene with her she's about to get married. She accepts or whatever, and she's wearing a dress and creepy shits are happening. She starts seeing ghosts, and she's bugging the fuck out. And she doesn't know what, but something's calling her. The priest, or the Father Godard or whatever, he goes to the house to help these people, and he realizes something's in the house. He says, "Don't worry, I'm going to come back with help." He goes to the church, asks them for help, and somehow the demon possesses him, and he kills himself. The daughter finds out, Judy finds out, and she goes to the house. She knows that that's where he was, because obviously they had a funeral and everything. She touched the casket, and that's how she knew to go to this house. She goes to the house. She wants to help the family. The parents are going crazy. Everyone's bugging out. Ben knows where she is, so he takes them all the way to Philadelphia to these people's homes. They ask for help, and Ed's like, "No, we got to go there." And she tells him, "Listen, come on. You always told us we don't back down from a fight and whatever." And then they decide to do this to help these people with this paranormal activity that's happening in their home. No problem. This is the problem I have after this. We don't know what the demon attached itself to this mirror. It's never explained who this is unless I have to see one of the other films. I don't know. They don't give the demon a name. They don't see where the demon came from. It's just been haunting them since 1964. That's it. I missed it maybe. I did not go to the bathroom during the film, so I don't think I missed it. So and then it feels like they rushed the ending. The whole part, there's elements like The Exorcist where she becomes possessed. Judy gets possessed because it wanted her in the house the whole time. It was calling for Judy because it was the same thing that tried to kill Judy when she was in her mother's stomach, when her mother first saw the mirror, because the mirror magically appears again on the attic. After it was destroyed, it's there. They don't say why. Long story short, everything happens. It gets interesting, and then it just fucking like a dry fart. Just, what? And I thought the movie just ended. I was like, what? Then we get to the wedding scene. I don't know if I have to watch all the Conjuring movies to know what the hell was going on with Judy. If I have to watch Annabelle, or I have to watch The Nun, or The Nun 2, or Annabelle the prequel, or because Annabelle did so gangbusters. So I don't know. But I know if the ending felt rushed, and it was cool, the parts where she was possessed, but they don't explain what this demon is. That's the whole point of possession films, is getting that demon out. And how did it attach itself to the mirror? Nothing's explained. It's just let's rush it through to get to the ending of this film. And and the guy who's supposed to have a heart attack, he almost has a heart attack again. And anyway, the wedding happens. The family's saved. They get rid of this demon. Kind of dumb too, and they don't lean towards the religious aspect that much, except for what she's doing right now with her hand, and what he does with his hand. It was kind of cheap, but yeah, I don't know. If anyone saw this, knows about the entire Conjuring lore, they could tell me what this demon was. If I missed it, they said the name of it. I don't think so. They don't really get into those things in these last two films that much. Whatever. The last movie, they put a curse on somebody, and I don't remember the last one that well. I know I just disliked it a lot, especially when the book was so great, and the book is based on, the case is based on, and the fact that the first half was good of the movie. I thought it got good all the way till he got arrested, and then it became like Law and Order. Yeah, and then there's a scene where Ed gives his keys to the museum to the son-in-law, and he says, "Welcome to the family," and he gives him a pair of keys, and then he locks the door. So it kind of led these two are going to be the new Ed and Lorraine Warren. I don't know if they don't want to pay the family or what, or I don't know how that's going to work, because I think Judy is, I guess they gave her a different name, and she's not born the same year as the real Judy. Totally different. So I don't know how that works. I assume they're still going to have to use the Warrens because they're case files, unless they could just add them into these people, the new Warrens, into different cases, I wonder what they're gonna call themselves too. Anyway, after that ending, and then they go to like a tribute to Ed and Lorraine. The whole credits is a tribute to them. So this is the last of the Conjuring films, supposedly, with Ed and Lorraine. I don't know. I don't know. But I will give this 2.5 out of 5 stars. It's not terrible. It's entertaining all the way through. You're not gonna be bored. You're not gonna really be scared. There's a few jump scares, like 2, literally. I jumped 1 time. The other one, no. There's some funny lines. It's a cute movie. It has a lot going on, so you're not really bored. That's the best I could say. So I give it 2.5 out of 5 stars. That's my rating for The Conjuring: Last Rites. Pretty bad way to end it, technically. It would have been higher if they would explain more. There are ghosts in the house that are being used, that they were died on the property, but the demon is supposedly using these ghosts in the house, and we only see 2 of them that I could remember. And she says there's 3 ghosts in this house, but talks about a husband and a wife. The husband found out his wife was cheating and killed him. I guess killed the man too, but I only remember seeing 2 ghosts, which is that ugly thing over here. Yeah, and then there's a guy with an axe who's tall. It looks like the Great Khali. I was like, oh. But yeah, that's my review for The Conjuring: The Last Rites.